Hey guys, what's up? This is Shuri from eGadgets for you, and in this video let me round about the day 2 at the Mobile World Congress 2017. Now the day 2 has solely belonged to Sony Xperia. As we know that Sony has unveiled 4 handsets in MWC 2017 yesterday. These handsets are the Sony Xperia XZ Premium, the XZS and XA1 Ultra. Now all these handsets are actually the successor to the previously launched handsets, like for example the XZ Premium handset and the XZS handset is a successor to the XZ handset that was launched last year. Similarly, the XA1 and the XA1 Ultra is a successor to the XA and the XA Ultra respectively. So let's dig deep into the full aspect of these particular devices in this video. Let's start with the premium handset, that is the XZ Premium, the flagship model from Sony Xperia as of now. This particular handset will sport a 5.5 inch of screen size. It will have a full HDR triluminous display with 4K screen as well. It will support a resolution of 2160 into 3840 pixels. This particular handset will be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 chipset. So that is the latest chipset that they are offering, and obviously as was expected that Samsung Galaxy will be the first one to arrive with the 835 chipset in its S8 and S8 Plus mobile. So it hadn't been so, and this particular handset of the XZ Premium is sporting it fast. Moving ahead, it will be supported by 4 gigs of RAM, Adreno 540 GPU, and it will have 64 gigs of internal memory with the ability to support a microSD card up to 256 GB as well. The next most important USP of this XZ Premium handset from Sony Xperia is the camera. This particular handset will sport a 19 megapixel shooter at the back, but it will be powered by Sony's new Motion Eye camera system, which is based on the new memory stacked 1/2.3 inch of XMR RS CMOS sensors. On the front, it will have a 13 megapixel front camera with 1/3.06 inch of XMOS RS sensors for the selfies. So that way the camera is definitely a great boost in this particular handset, and obviously we know that with the Sony sensors in the camera does tends to get better. So we look forward to the camera aspect in this particular device as well. Next up, we have the Sony Xperia XZS, the smaller variant of the XZ handset that was launched last year. Now this particular handset will sport a 5.2 inch of screen size. It will have a triluminous full HD display that will support a resolution of 1080 into 1920 pixels. It will be powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 chipset and will have a GPU of Adreno 510. It will be coupled with a 4 gigs of RAM and will be available in the 32 gigs and 64 gigs of internal memory variant. It will be supported by a microSD card that will support up to 256 GB. Now it will also come with Android Nougat straight out of the box, and it will sport a 2900 mAh of battery. Next up, let's start with the Sony Xperia XA1 Ultra. But before that, let me tell you the XA1 Ultra and the XA1 both resembles the same XA variant of Sony Xperia released last year from a design perspective. Now moving ahead, specifically for the XA1 Ultra, it will sport a 6 inch of screen size with a full HD display that will support a resolution of 1080 into 1920 pixels. It will also be powered by a MediaTek Helio P20 chipset with an octa-core processor. Additionally, it will have a 4 gigs of RAM. Furthermore, it will be powered by a GPU of Mali T880MP2. It will be available in a 32 gigs and 64 gigs variant of internal memory, and additionally it will support a microSD card that will support up to 256 GB as well. Now the biggest USP of the XA1 Ultra is obviously the camera. Towards the back, the XA1 Ultra will sport a 23 megapixel shooter with XMOS RS image sensor, hybrid autofocus, 24mm wide angle lens, focal aperture of f/2.0, 5x zoom and HDR mode. The Sony Xperia A1 Ultra will also have a 16 megapixel shooter at the front with XMOS RS sensor, the front flash, 23mm wide angle lens, focal aperture of f/2.0, optical image stabilizations and autofocus. So from a camera perspective, obviously the XA1 Ultra is a great deal and we look forward to the camera performance in this particular device as well. Now it will also come with a 2700 mAh battery sealed at the back. So we look forward to this particular device as well. The final smartphone unveiled by Sony Xperia is the Sony Xperia XA1. Now this particular handset will sport a 5-inch of screen with HD display that will support a resolution of 1280 into 720 pixels. It will have a 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of internal memory, 2300 mAh battery, and towards the front it will have a 8 megapixel shooter with no optical image stabilizations. The rest of the specifications are exactly similar to the Sony Xperia XA1 Ultra. So these are the 4 handsets that are launched by Sony yesterday at the MWC 2017, and all these handsets will soon see the daylight sometime around April, and prices and the features will vary as per the regions and as per the availability, and so we do wait for these handsets from Sony Xperia and look forward to the performance especially of the Sony Xperia XZ Premium as it's sporting a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 chipset. So that will be it guys, and if it was helpful, please do remain subscribed and stay tuned to my channel. I'll give you all the updates and all the happenings in the MWC 2017 going on in Barcelona now. That will be it guys. Bye for now.